Okay, good afternoon. We have today with us Grayson, who was referred to me by Ken,
Ken Fax,
Ken
yes.
Fax, and he's someone you met at an event.
Yes, I was selling some jewelry I make, which I do have. They're beaded jewelry at this event in Visitation Valley,
Oh,
and
so you do jewelry too.
yes,
And then he spoke to you and
he heard me playing my guitar and liked one of the songs I was playing, which was called "Will You Love Me After the Zombie Apocalypse." He thought that was very humorous and gave me his card.
that's awesome. So, so you do many things. That's why it's called creative productions.
Well, yes, because I work in a lot of different areas. I like, well, specifically when I was thinking about the zombie thing, I made this card up in order to get across the idea. And I think I'm going to keep it raw like this. I took cardboard,
Yeah.
put some gesso on it, and
That's what you put on your table when you're at fairs.
well, this I just made up because I had talked to Kenneth. I
Okay.
also did the T-shirt, which has the same theme on it.
Apocalypse. Okay. So what is Apocalypse? Is it a movie? Is it a production?
Elsa's Zombie Apocalypse Lounge is somewhere in the alt verse. The names are changed to protect the innocent. And
Yeah. Yeah.
anyhow,
It's a crew of how many people?
it's a crew of many people because what it is, it's a it's was taken over by Elsa Breckenridge and her mother Leora, who's a physicist. And after the zombie apocalypse in this universe, on a planet somewhat like Earth, they take over this place called the Globe Star System, which had been run by the military.
Wow.
So they put together a pirate radio station that beams out to the world.
Oh my God. So this is all fiction.
Of course, I let my mind go in the direction it goes in. I've been watching film for a long time. I
Yeah.
studied film for a while,
Yeah.
but I think the real area to move into is gaming. My brother's a big gamer, and I have nieces and nephews who are gamers.
Oh.
I'm not particularly a gamer, except maybe backgammon or something.
Okay. Okay. So what do you mean by production? You put it on stage?
I'm going to do a stage piece, which is an interview with David Holmes. Now, David Holmes is by Sherlock Webster. David Holmes is a one of the, you might say, the creator of what I call Z-Poc sound,
Oh.
songs of the apocalypse.
Okay.
So with his crew, which are all musicians, traveling across country, they're trying to get to Elsa's Zombie Apocalypse Lounge to play. That's what the game's basically about.
Okay.
It's going across country. You get your instrument broken. You have to go in danger to get another instrument. Some of your friends get killed off on the way. And of course, if you play well enough, you'll probably get to play at this place.
All right. So it's a traveling production?
As far as what I'm going to do, I see it, the whole thing, as a game. But what I would like to do in the interview with David Holmes is probably have it as a traveling production because it stands on alone on itself as a piece.
Okay.
Because I just what I did is I sat down and I created these characters, got
Yeah.
the names of people I wanted,
Yeah.
what they were, what they did, like
Yeah.
Elsa Breckenridge. I don't know. It came out of I think I was thinking of Rick's Cafe in Casablanca or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that happened, but it just came.
All right. So I'm a little confused. So this is a production of musicians.
Uh, it's 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 music, but it's also a game that's played on a thing. So I'm looking at developing two areas.
Yeah.
The production that you're talking about, a
Yeah.
traveling production,
Yeah.
would be great.
Okay.
That's one of the things we're going to start filming with a friend of mine who's been working in this thing. He's a engineer, you know.
How long is that production going to be?
Probably I would say an hour, about as long as a say 12 songs.
Oh, it's 12 songs.
Yeah, well, that's the 12 songs, but previous to the David Holmes and the crew, I call them,
Yeah.
playing the songs,
Yeah.
he's interviewed by Sherlock Webster, who is this young man who, they have this little thing going. The interview is probably about, that they go through is probably about 2 to 3 minutes. Then Holmes gets up and plays one of the songs, and then he comes back for a little brief one, and then they bring out the whole band and he plays. Well, I said 12 songs, but it could
Oh,
be more.
maybe you can come when I have the large studio and do one or two
I'll do
songs.
whatever you want.
Oh, how nice, how nice.
Yes.
So you are the composer of those
I
songs?
composed all of them.
All the 12
The
songs?
12 songs, but I used to be in a couple of bands way back when on the Joes and the Rhythmic Rustlers. And so what we did was I wrote most of the songs in the band, but I had some really great people I was with. They were they were creative in the process. I just brought the songs, but the music was them and me.
So you produce a song and then you play it somewhere first or before you go into putting it on a film?
Well, I play it. The thing is I usually play it for people I'm involved with. I have a friend named Chris Schultz who runs audio on location. Right now, he is a drummer who started playing drumming when he was 17 in big bands.
Uh-huh.
If I go to him and I say, "Hey, Chris, what do you think?" I know he's not bullying me. He's telling me the real deal. So
Okay, he'll tell you whether it's
yeah,
good or not.
yes, I believe so. And then my brother Philip, who plays conga drums and horn and bass and a couple other instruments. My brother Philip is really good, and so I always go to him. And then I
For
have my
advice.
nephew. Well, it's like you have to bounce it off somebody. I can have an idea. I mean, some of the ideas I've had, I just went, "Oh my God," and throw them away.
Oh, okay. Okay, so once you got all these songs together, you're gonna make a story called Apocalypse?
And what it is, it's the story is going to be based. The story I see it as a larger thing. When I started doing this maybe 2 years ago, it was a toss between writing scenario and then writing song
Okay.
and then thinking of visual image in the process. So I have some of the stuff down. I've written down because I write everything down. I go on the computer. You know,
So it's not on film yet.
Not yet. It'll be starting. We'll do it on film in. I have to wait till my friend Chris is a little free. He's busy right now, and we're going to start doing it on film. Probably we're going to start recording it. I want to record it before we put it on film. So we're probably going to record it in a week or two.
Oh,
And then we're going to start working on the film probably soon after that because I've already written out the scenario of the dialogue. I don't like a lot of dialogue, so I've got it cut down to where you can get into the song. So, yeah.
oh, last week I had a lady. She does a production, a music production at the Dolores Basilica.
Really?
So it's gonna be tomorrow, Sunday, the 30th of September, at 4. So you'll be able to meet some musicians there,
And
the
where's this at?
performers.
What was the location of this now? What's it, address?
Dolores Basilica.
Oh, Dolores and
It's
18th.
18th.
Yes, I know it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be tomorrow at 4, and I'm taping it. So maybe you can perform at one of her next events. She has
Sure.
her next one will be November 18.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I don't know. I mean, you can discuss it with her. Her name
Sure.
is Donna. Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, to go back to you, so you have put something called Apocalypse.
Elsa's Zombie Apocalypse Lounge, which I always, on the bottom, you can see it says "Where the Music Lives."
Okay.
That's my little pun, I guess, but it's
But
Elsa.
the word apocalypse resonate with something that's out of hand, right?
Well, yes, that's why I decided to do the music thing in it because I've already seen all the zombie movies since 1957, pretty much. I've looked at a lot of them, Boris Karloff, and they didn't have the zombies who ate people then. They just had the ones walking around like, oh,
Oh my God,
yeah,
that's scary.
serious. That's how it was.
Like the moonwalk with Michael Jackson.
Even more weird because and then they have the invisible
Okay.
zombies.
So it's
anyhow.
called zombie. You're gonna be dressed as a zombie.
Oh, not me. No, what the songs came out to be is the survivors of the zombie apocalypse who have to go to play at this lounge because music has to survive after the apocalypse. That's why I thought of the idea. And I
Okay.
always put songs of the apocalypse on it.
And you have those 12 songs listed.
I have these songs listed because
What'd you say in those songs? They are like scary stuff.
some of it's Well, one of the lyrics in the one, "Will you love me after the zombie apocalypse?" is, "We've known each other 4 or 5 years or more. Things were going pretty well for both of us, I'm sure. But now the world has changed in so many ways. So I want to know, will you love me after the zombie apocalypse? Oh, kiss my lips. Oh, take a bite." I'm sorry.
That's the words?
Yeah. So it's a little. It's
It's
a
kind
little.
of funny.
Well, yeah, I kind of like the humor in it. Of I see. I was around when George Romero came out with
Yeah.
that movie. Dawn, Day of the Dead.
Okay.
And my cousin, who's a great guitar player, he's going to be doing some recording with us. But so we loved that movie. We went to the theater, the Bridge Theater, to see it with our girlfriends. They were, yeah, I understand how it was pretty cringy then, but me and my cousin were just busting up. It was so funny because we're going like, wow. Wow. Of course, at the end of it, they shot the black man with the gun, which was like, went to your head, and you were like, wait a minute.
So, so you perform most of them already.
I've performed not in front of a group of people or anything like that, but I've been at
In
some
front
parties.
of people.
Yeah, well, yes. I went to, I was in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, on the East
Yeah.
Coast for a while.
Yeah.
I have family back there. And so I was there. I was at a friend's party. He said, "Hey, play the guitar." So I said, "Sure." And I noticed that his daughter, she's 12 or 13 now, and I think, and then some of the other friends that she had, whatever age, I can't remember, but I played that song for her, and when her friends would come over, she'd go, "Play that song for me."
She liked it.
Oh, she loved it. She thought it was hilarious.
Oh, okay. Well, you sound like a fun guy. I mean, to come up with such a title, Elsa Zombie Apocalypse,
I know, it's
is
crazy.
you gotta really have thought about it. I mean, I would have never thought about something like that, but something inspired you to do it.
Well, yeah, I think. Well, if I had to say, the inspiration in my life was my mother and my father,
Yeah.
because they weren't musical, but there was always a lot of music around the house.
Yeah.
So I listened to show tunes, jazz, a lot of jazz.
Yeah.
We could play Motown when Motown came in when I was young.
Yeah.
So we had a great time. And so they kind of inspired me to do what I like doing. Well, what I like doing is creating things
Like
out of
that?
here,
Yeah.
you know.
So this started at what age then?
Well, as far as this particular thing, but I mean
Yeah.
the idea of creating things, drawing. And my mother said the one thing about me when I was young is she could put me in a corner with some blocks, and I'd be there for hours. I guess it was trying to make sense out of the world. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
But
And then
I'm sorry.
and then you were creative from then on.
Well, pretty much. The first kind of guitar I bought was, I worked, when I was living in Rhode Island, we lived on Lippert Street, which is the dead end. So all the people on the street were older people. I'd run to the store for them. I collected my little money. I knew where I could get this little guitar. It was cheap. I went and got it, and I used to
And
sit
you
in my room.
practice.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
got good at it.
What did you do besides thinking about this production? I mean, you must have done other things on the side because
Well, yes, I worked in a lot of different things. I worked in restaurants. I drove cab. I worked in a machine shop.
yeah, most artists do that after work, right?
Oh, you gotta do something to keep
The bills
keep
paid.
it going. Yeah,
Yeah. So meanwhile, all these years you've been developing it.
I've been developing my craft as far as I saw art, because I don't see any piece of it separate from me, whether it's music, visual, whatever. I don't see it. I see it all as one thing. And if I want to go in those directions, that's was the best thing for me to do. I'm talking about personally. I'm not saying it's for everybody.
Okay. Okay, so if you do a movie of 1 hour, what's going to be the story behind those 12 songs? There's a theme.
Well, there is a theme behind it too.
Yeah.
One of the guys who's a part of the band, Bo Mitchum, he loses his wife on the way.
Okay.
So there's going to be those connections.
That story.
Yeah. So each song kind of relates to, because this band is a big band. Think of Tower of Power with horns and keyboards and the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is a big band, and it's composed of women and men, because you can't have, going across country. I mean, you couldn't have just men going across country. To me, I think, because my mom and I had two sisters. One of my sisters is dead, but I was very close to them, and and my grandmother, and those women in my life. I had to kind of, when I was designing the story, I was thinking about my grandmother, who her name was Leora, so
Okay.
I gave Elsa Breckenridge's mother the name Leora, and I decided she would be a physicist who created a synthetic human being and so on and so on. It's insane.
That's also part of the
Well,
story.
yeah, it is. I started when I started doing this was about a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and what I did was start writing down things.
Okay.
So sometimes I'd get up in the middle of the night, or I'd be beating or something, and
Yeah.
I'd say, "Wait a minute, that's cool." Or a name had come to me like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna write that down." So I have a list of characters that I've been doing profiles on for the last few years, and I'm adding things and taking things away because the real idea about writing is editing to me.
Okay. So you're gonna be the main character in your movie with
Well,
your
not necessarily. That's why I'm
no
trying to put together, even if it turns
a
out
crew.
it could be a stage production or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know a friend of mine that I met on the train going to Rhode Island
Yeah.
well, a couple of years ago. His name is Brian. He's an actor. Now, here's a man who studied a craft, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't live in Hollywood, but he likes acting.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's done a lot of jobs. So me and him hit it off, and he reads a lot of books. So me and him started talking because of I saw him reading, and he saw me reading. I was reading Frankenstein, and I can't remember what he was reading.
Okay. And so if you envision everything right, how many people will be in that production?
Well, in the stage production, I imagine Holmes and his
You and
interviewer.
you and
Sure.
you.
Well, if I have to get it going by being a character, then I'll be the character. See, the character is not me; it's a character.
Oh, okay.
See,
Okay.
everything's separate because it
You'll
has.
be behind the scene and playing.
Or what I'll do is record it and have somebody
Oh, the
up front doing
soundtrack.
it.
The
Now I may
soundtrack.
have to do it initially because my character has the long Sam Elliott type
Oh, okay.
mustache.
Okay.
This is a visualization that I got into. His
Okay.
hair is much longer than mine. I prefer mine shorter now
Okay.
because I'm too lazy to try to take care of it all the time.
Okay. So basically, you're gonna put this together with friends.
Well, a lot of it will be friends initially. As far as the recording, I'm going to go to my friend Chris Schultz, of course, because he
Yeah.
is a recording engineer
Yeah.
and he knows what he's doing. He knows how to get things done. I do pay him for the work because he's worth the time, and I figure our relationship has lasted because I respect him and am willing to put out the money. And he respects me and has also recorded me without pay. So I want to mention that too.
Okay. Yeah, you can come in a large studio and do part of the production.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the studio, large studio, October 6th and November 3rd.
Okay, all right.
So maybe I have somebody on October 6th, but then there's time after him.
Yeah.
So basically, those songs are where now? They're on the CD.
No. Well, some of Marcus. Chris recorded "Will You Love Me After the Zombie Apocalypse" and probably a couple others. Most of them they're all written down. And what I usually do when I'm playing with other people who are very good musicians and artists, I'll bring it and I'll play it. But if they say this or that, something, I'm flexible in the sense that I know where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I know these ideas are valid and worthwhile. Otherwise, people wouldn't have played with me before. So,
Okay, and so if you want the movie to sell better, it's better to make it an hour and 90 minutes.
Well,
And six and
that's why I was thinking about like
A
more of a
little bit
one act
more.
stage play, with. See, it's all. See, I had to. How do you say? Cut the fat off of it.
okay.
Yes, I would like to make a full length feature. Yes, I would like to get the
They
whole.
sell better than
Yeah.
short.
I would like it to come. I would like to be able to put together the whole game thing about the lounge. The challenges of going across country fighting the zombies and so forth and so on.
Yeah,
the
it's
music.
possible.
So I think in terms of what's out there as far as the technology, film, yes. A stage play that's maybe a one act thing that's 1 hour long, just with the interview. Because what I did is I sat down, like I said, I timed how much I wanted this to be,
Yeah.
how the songs go.
Yeah, George Lucas, who is here locally in San Francisco, did
Yeah.
the first digital movie on a digital camera.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Well, I have a camera too. I have a Canon HD,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
so does my friend. So
So you got the equipment. All you need to do is
I've got the microphones and I got the camera. Only thing I'd like to do is get a hold of probably a green screen so I can mess around with the images in the background.
Okay. And that will be taped outdoors or indoors?
I'm going to try to do it
Like Dolores
mostly
Park?
indoors, but I will take some outdoor. I'll go out and do some outdoor shooting pre-production.
Oh, okay.
So I would go and like,
Like rolling.
well, also like I like the woods, and let's face it, San Francisco's got some great places to go around here. To
Yes.
just do, if I just, because what you're doing is you're shooting something. When I was studying film and we were using the moviola to do the cutting and the splicing, that was work. Now, then of course video came in, but now the technology has changed. So somebody who has a clear vision of what they want to have on musically, visually, then you can get it done, which was not possible when I was in school studying film.
Oh, okay. You went to school. Which school did you go
San
to?
Francisco State University. I didn't graduate
Oh,
from there. I took film classes there, and then I went on to do some other things.
some of my best directors were from San Francisco State,
I
and
wouldn't.
one of them will be here right after you.
Oh, really?
She she did my 1993 one of my 1993 productions. She's excellent.
Right.
But to go back to you, so the film training you got at San Francisco State is going to help you with your production.
Yes, it was very helpful because when I took a class where we had to storyboard music, pick out some music and then storyboard it. Now I'm not the greatest artist,
Yeah.
but when I start doing something, I focus in on something, I can get across my point. So yes, the training there was good. I value it. I like the English department too. I had a great English teacher, Noel Wilson, who was really he's really funny. After he saw my writing, he said, "This is atrocious." He said, "Grayson, you're not here to take English anyhow. You're
Yeah.
here just to learn how to write a little better." And
Yeah.
he suggested some classes that I go to, and it helped me out a lot.
As a matter of fact, she's coming to talk about the documentary that she just finished. So be good for you to chat for a minute
Oh, sure.
because she's a producer.
Oh, she's coming in.
Yeah, she's right after
Oh,
you.
oh, sure. I'll hang.
Yeah. No, no, she'll meet her on her way
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
studio. I'm sure she'll listen to ideas, see if it's
Yeah.
something that ring a bell for
Well,
her.
the thing about it is when you're, as you said, uh, getting into the arts, you do it because of your love for whatever that is. It's all to me. It's all. I like film too. I love film. I tend to look at some of the older ones over and over again. The black and whites, and I look at like Boris Karloff, Voodoo Island, which is really. When you look at it, you kind of get some laughs, but I like Boris Karloff, so I'll watch him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know by heart your songs?
Most of them I know by heart. What I did when I started writing them is there was a toss up between while I was writing the names of the characters, the storyline broken
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
and how I
Yeah.
wanted it to be. I was doing the song. So it's like I never sat down and learned them all totally. But that's what I have to do by next week.
Oh, you're gonna start next week.
Well, no, I know like Will You Love Me After the Zombie Apocalypse and Killing On Down the Road, stuff like that.
So you're gonna do one song at a time so that it's done right?
Oh, when I record them, well, what we usually do, the process for us has been, and I've been working with Chris off and on for 30 something years. The process is I go in and I lay down a rhythm track with my 12 string or whatever guitar I'm using.
Yeah.
Then I go in and I do the vocals behind the songs without the instrumentation, just listening back.
Oh, you're gonna do
Break,
both.
yeah, we separate it all because I'll tell you why. I want the quality to be right, and I know what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
So it goes CD or wherever it goes, it's
He
going
has
to be
to do a
right.
mix. He's
It'll
gonna
be
do a mix.
right. Yeah. Then
Oh,
the mix.
okay.
And I
Yeah.
have my brother who's going to come in, and Chris will probably play some drums on it. My brother, and I got a nephew who plays drums, one who plays viola, and
Where his studio is in Oakland?
Chris, no, he's here in the city.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
So you're a city resident?
I, it's very interesting. I was thinking about that because I haven't really had an apartment in San Francisco in I don't know how long. I retired in, what was it, 2012,
Okay.
about 6 years ago or so.
So now
and,
you have time to take care of this?
well, yeah, I dropped my apartment, got rid of my truck,
Oh.
got rid of anything that could hold me down because I also like to travel. I've been to France several
so
times.
you go on a trailer or something? I mean,
Well, no, I go by the train.
Okay, and you go visit the cities that interest you?
Yeah, I stop in and just I really like I like back east because
Yeah.
I like the change of the seasons.
Yeah.
I like Berlin. I did an art show there one time,
Wow.
which is very interesting. I might have a flyer of it. But anyhow, I did an art show there one time. My
Y-
friend,
Berlin, so you speak German?
I don't speak anything. I barely speak English well. In reality, I mean, I'm pretty much so anyhow, when I was in Germany, I did this little show,
Oh, that's nice.
and I like collage, and there's a name of it. I like collage, so it was all collage. There
So
were
when you
five.
say you did the show, you played in front
I
of.
also had the five pieces up on the wall, so
Wow.
I got a chance to. Excuse me. The place I played at
Yeah.
was, and I had the show at, was a local place. My friend lived near it, and it's funny how my friend, he's not with us anymore. He's dead, but he told the guy, he said, my friend does art. So the guy sent me an email, Ingmar. He sends me an email. He says, your friend says you do art. Send me some photos. And I was working on some pieces. I said, cool. So I shot him the photos. He said, how'd you like to come here and show those pieces and play some music? I go, sure. So I went there and I stayed with my friend for 2 months. I didn't get paid anything, but it wasn't about pay to me. It was to go to Berlin and spend 2 months
There.
and hang out and talk to people.
With Europeans?
Oh yeah, German people. I met people from all over the place. And when I was in the south of France, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
You meet all these different people, and I like talking to people. You learn a lot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. When I was south of France, I taped all the music performers outside.
I love it.
And one of the group was professional. They were from Germany, but they were like actual professional player out
yeah.
in the
Oh, yeah.
open for everybody to
I
listen.
know. Well, see, that's what I think. I mean, look, I'm not opposed to money. Apparently, I had to have money to survive this period of time and to buy the paints and so forth and so on. But music and sharing that it's the one real thing in the arts you do share with other people. When you're doing something like this plaque here or something like that,
Yeah.
you're alone and you're coming up with these ideas, and then you have to put it together. And it's the same thing with the T-shirt. I had to come up with the concept, which, like I said, I've been working on this a couple of years. It started
Little by little.
little by little. I've been formulating the idea of what it was, and what it was also that one-act play with just David Holmes, the interviewer, and some songs. But it was also a larger piece that would could be encompassed.
Complete the show.
Yeah.
Okay, and that doesn't cost much though. A T-shirt costs only like maybe $20, and then your sign, you made it yourself.
Yeah.
That's not a big investment.
Well,
What's
no.
going to be the investment is mostly the production, the movie.
Who's going to invest in it? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Who's going to invest in it? Well, the
You
way
gotta
I
have a script to have investors.
Well, I think I have a pretty good thing going along the way. So the next stage in it, of course, is to get investors. You're right.
Did you knock on Lucas Films?
I'd love to go and say, hey, George, how'd you like to do this with me? It'd be great.
No, he might not do it with you, but he might
Right.
help you financially.
Well, no, I haven't, because I just got back to San Francisco in December. And I was
Because
kinda
this year he announced that he's giving away a lot of his wealth
Oh, really?
to nonprofit. So this is a good time to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the news last week, I believe.
Well, see, something in a sense, I like the idea of I live pretty simply. I'm going to tell you, I'm down to 2 pairs of pants and a couple of shirts.
Oh,
and
you
stuff.
travel light.
I travel real light. I don't even take my guitar anymore when I go out of the country.
Wow.
I don't have to. I go to the country I'm in and buy a guitar for a couple of €100. What's a guitar? And then leave it there and come back.
Oh, okay. So that you're really hands free.
Yes, you have to. I think it's kind of funny. I was thinking about that lifestyle, and I probably made my decision a long time ago about that. We traveled across country on train several times when I was a child. I found it fascinating. Just
And
the
you love
motion.
that.
I love it. I love the trains in France. Paris, boom, south. I love it.
So when you need to meet friends again, you come back to United States
Well, I have friends in France that I've known.
in Europe.
Yeah, one of my friends, Francoise, she's we've been friends for 20 some odd years. She's a fantastic artist,
Yeah.
and I met her, and we hit it off. And she's always one of the persons I can go to as far as my music. I trust her opinion as far as what I'm doing too.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to get
So
her to help with some of the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so you say you hit it off. She's in France.
I think she's in Mexico now. She lives in Vallejo.
Yeah.
She has a home in Vallejo. Her daughter lives in Apt,
Wow.
and her son lives somewhere above Nice somewhere. I haven't seen him in a few
Did you
years.
talk to her about the production?
Oh yeah, she's willing to help with any artwork or anything I have
All
to
right.
get going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's good. That's nice of her.
well, she's a friend, you know, and I would do anything for her. And I've always considered her a really good artist. She does watercolor, name it, charcoal, whatever, and she's
Oh,
just.
that would be good for the signs.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to give. I'd rather have her do some of the other stuff that I'm thinking about.
Oh, in the backgrounds. And
Yeah,
stuff.
like long ago they used to do what they call what are they? They used to have something painted on glass.
Okay.
You know, so I would prefer her
Do that.
to
Yeah.
do that. And then my nephew, who's a really good artist, he also does music. He's excuse me, engineers music, and he does rap and beats and stuff like that. Me and him recorded some stuff. We had fun. But he's going to do the more visual images of the zombie thing. Now, I had,
Visual images. You mean drawing?
I'm talking about drawings,
Oh,
yes.
drawings.
See, because what I'm doing now is I'm kind of sketching out a 5-page, basically, little book pamphlet that kind of starts with David Holmes and them starting their journey across the country to play at Elsa's Zombie Apocalypse Lounge. So, about 5 pages, that's
So
about. I'm sorry,
let's say 12 songs, 3 minutes each. It's 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Or maybe 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest it will be a story.
Yeah,
and,
part of its story, yeah.
And part of the story will have some background of music of those
Right.
of those 12. And then you already visualize the whole thing.
Yes.
Oh,
Some nights I can't sleep because like last night I was thinking, because I'm always thinking about these whole things, because
And you write little scripts.
I write things down. I write the names I come up with. I write who they are, what kind of person they are. I try to really get into visualizing them as being different from me, but the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, extraterrestrials.
I'm sorry?
They're gonna be extraterrestrials,
Oh, no, they'll all be, all the
Humans.
people will be,
dressed like you.
well,
I mean, dressed like humans.
yeah, the zombies themselves will be zombies, but the humans going across country will be in whatever dress they choose to dress in.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but they won't be like in George Lucas movies where you weird shapes. No, they won't be like
No,
that.
they'll just be weird. Have you seen many zombie movies?
Well, I've seen videos. I don't know music
Yeah,
videos.
which is
Music videos, so that you can do whatever you want with the
Yeah.
zombie.
yeah. Well, that's true too. I mean, I recognize that, but I wanted to structure something with a character interviewing a survivor of
Oh.
the apocalypse coming across country to play at the lounge.
Oh.
So therefore, I had to think about it in that perspective. Look, I love music, and I love to interject music into things. Funny thing, I was looking up zombie films, and Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin did a zombie film called Scared Stiff. It was a musical too. And they have a zombie in it. They go to this island, and the zombie shows up, but there's music in it. Carmen Miranda's in it, and so forth and so on. So I study film.
there is a market for it actually, because when I was selling films and selling scary film, like it sold. It's sold.
Yeah.
The investors say, yeah, we
Well, I like films like that. I always have, ever since I was young. I mean, as soon as we know they had like 3 or 4 horror movies at the Fillmore Theater over in the Western Addition where I grew up, we were there.
wow.
We were there.
Yeah, yeah. The market is mostly teenagers, correct?
Well, I think the market is people who enjoy. If you do a film well, look, let's face it, there's some schlocky stuff that happens in films. I don't mind going back and look at the old films. They're schlocky where the plants only move like this. The man-eating plants, carnivorous plants are going, really weird. And then, of course, after you've seen Day of the Triffids, which was done by the British back in 60 something, the plants get up and start walking around consuming people. So a lot of these images from film to me are what I weave into what I create.
What you're gonna create next?
Yes, as I keep writing things down,
Yeah.
they become clearer, of course.
Okay, okay. So you're gonna put some special scary moment there.
You got to have things that are, look, I like being scared. If they can't scare me, they haven't made a scary movie.
Oh,
And to be honest with you, I haven't been scared of movies for a long time. I'm
they
just not.
tone it down.
Well, I don't think they toned it down so much. I think the thing is as look, I've looked at a lot of scary movies. And I looked at stuff from Dario Argento, the Italian, really scary stuff he did. And then I've looked at a lot of the American films. The American films pretty much dominated a lot of that market for a long time. But there was a zombie film made in Norway in '57. It was called Lake of the Dead. It was made in Norway. I never saw it, but I knew about it. I know about it. So
Okay. So yeah, you're gonna bring a little zest into it with some
yeah, you got to have a little. You got to have.
something to go to the movie for.
Yeah, you want. Well, this is kind of funny. I just recently saw me and my cousin.
Yeah.
We went to see what was it? The new supposed to be a
A scary.
Incredibles 2.
Okay.
Saw Incredibles 2. Great movie.
Is it a horror film?
No, it is not. Has nothing to do with a horror film, but it's supposed to be a kids' film, comedy. But the thing about it that was interesting about it is there was some
Yeah.
children up front
Yeah.
sitting watching the film.
Yeah.
Now the jokes are so you don't get the jokes unless you lived a while.
Wow.
So when you're looking at this film, it's
Yeah.
a child's film, but if you're an adult, you'll be cracked. Especially if you grew up in the American culture.
Okay.
I'm not saying nobody else would get the jokes, but there's some funny stuff in there that we were laughing. The kids are going, "What are they laughing about?" To the mother.
Yeah, and you found that real funny.
Well, I found it funny that you can have something that can make people laugh, but also make them,
Giggle a little bit.
yeah, giggle. Yeah, I mean, so zombie films to me, and I love the genre. I didn't watch a lot of The Walking Dead. I saw the first episode, and then I was doing other things. I had doing band and all that other stuff. So
Well, if you're gonna have zombie, you should have a mime.
well, yeah, that would be cool.
A mime and also a comedian.
Yeah.
A comedian mime.
Yeah, you have to have some kind of contrast. Scare the heck out of them. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
like I
and,
say, I like to be a
and
little
have
scared.
a good laugh.
And
too.
have a laugh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm into.
Do you know someone who has that kind of sense of humor?
I don't know anybody who's a mime and a comedian off the top of my head that I've met. I mean, most of the people I've associated with have been musicians, people who do film, and people who do art.
Oh, we have a
art.
French comedian, Gad, who is trying to do his career now in the U.S. I don't know if he's reachable, but he
Oh, that's
would be
interesting.
perfect for that.
Well, the thing is, I can
You can
hopefully
always send
hook up
him
with
the
him because I mean,
script.
you
Yeah.
need somebody with the physical humor as
Yeah.
well as a certain understanding of the fact that this is going to be fun and we're going to go for it.
Well, as soon as you have the script, I can send it to him.
All right.
But I'm sure he has done many films already. But he's a superstar in France, and now he's trying to make it big here in the United States. But he's on Netflix if you want to look him up.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I'll
yes,
be honest with you, I don't have Netflix. As a matter of fact, I mean, where I'm
it's
staying.
online on your computer.
Oh, online. Okay. All right.
Do you have a computer?
Well, yeah, I have a computer, but I'd be. It's really funny. I like film.
Yeah.
But since I got into the zombie thing, I went back and looked at George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
And I'm going back and look at the Boris Karloff Voodoo Island and all this stuff. Just because I like the genre, and it just kind of feeds into what I'm doing.
Okay.
So I don't look at it, to be honest with you, I don't look at a lot of other film lately because I'm stooped in that whole idea of, okay, I know what I'm doing here, but let's get a little flavor and take a break, you know.
Were you a funny guy when you were young?
Uh, Most people think I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my sister still gets a kick out of some of the
It's good to have you in the
insanity.
room and make them laugh.
Well, I like humor. I like laughing. I mean,
Okay.
I enjoy people, and there's
Yeah.
always something funny about me I could laugh about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even in a flat interview like this, you're laughing with, and there's nothing happening really, except unless I'm funny. But
Well, no, I just
you're
like
happy.
humor.
You're a
I'm
happy
just
person. Yeah.
Well, I have a definitely a I don't like to say positive. Let's just say um, you have to put yourself in a certain frame of mind
Okay.
to live in this world.
Okay.
My mother told me something one time.
Yeah.
Everybody has problems as large as yours, so get over it, basically. And when she told me that when I was pretty young, I
You
got
s-
the message.
So you decided no matter what problems we have to get over it.
Well, no, I think you have to deal with the problems,
Yeah.
but you deal with them with the best way you can do. I mean, any problem I've ever had,
Yeah.
I just go ahead and just do it, and then just say, okay, I gotta get out of this state. Everybody has downs and stuff like that. I got knocked off my bicycle and got my hip hurt. So right now my hip,
Oh
bothers me
yeah, and you
sometimes.
have to deal with it.
Yeah. So, but instead of taking the drugs that they
Yeah.
wanted to give me at the VA hospital, I just said, nah, that's okay. I'll just.
You're a veteran.
Yeah, I was in
Where
Vietnam.
did you Vietnam?
Yeah,
Oh,
Da Nang.
so did you come back with some post traumatic?
Well, I think everybody does.
Oh,
When somebody says there's no such thing as that, I don't. I think my post-traumatic, that stress that I came. They used to call it shell shock back in World War One. When you come back shell shocked and realizing that I never had to kill anybody. I was in with the
but did
Navy.
you see a counselor?
My brother was in the Army and he was out in the
Oh,
jungle.
oh.
Yeah, and
So that was tough for him.
it was tough for both of us. It was tough for my mom. When we both came back alive, she
She
was
was
happy.
so happy.
You're darn right.
Oh, she probably praised
Oh
the
yeah,
Lord
well,
God.
yeah, she was a very, very wise woman. But I think my whole thing, I started channeling it into music and stuff when
That's
I came
good.
back.
Yeah.
When I came back from Vietnam, I was 22.
Show us the guitar. What did you bring?
Oh, I got a 12 string here.
12 string.
Yeah, I kind of like the sound of it. I was a real big fan
So
of.
it's a huge guitar.
Yeah, it's pretty weighs a lot too. But I don't really care about the guitar so
Do you
much. But this
play?
was beautiful.
Do you play in the bar or anything?
I used to play with the bands I was in bars, but the band broke up. Didn't break up in the sense of breaking up. What happened?
Everybody did their
Well,
own
my
act.
cousin was taking care of his wife.
Yeah,
She had contacted AIDS, and she
Yeah.
just died last year.
yeah.
So he was concerned with taking care of her, and then he was kind of playing up there in Healdsburg at different little open mics, but mostly his thing was taking care of her.
All right.
Yeah, he's a really great guy, good musician, and just a great person. And then of course he was in the band, and then I had a friend from Georgia. I think he's in Georgia now, taking care of his mother because she Alzheimer's. Nathan Woodruff, good singer. I'll bring you a CD of some of the stuff we did. But and then Glenn Mackin, he's dead. He was a really good bass player, and we didn't have a drummer in the band at the time. And I played acoustic guitar, and then I had Ted Davis who played 12 string at the time,
In Oakland,
San
in
Francisco.
San Francisco.
So we had played at places down on Broadway, the Chi Chi Club, and places like that don't exist anymore. And then New George's, we played over Marin one time or so, and we did some coffee house things because we were mostly acoustic band.
Okay.
See, we didn't have the only electric thing that was really kicked in was Steve. I played acoustic guitar, nylon string, just to get a different tonality in the band. So with four pieces and a singer and background,
Yeah.
you'll listen to it when I bring it by, and then you can judge from that,
Okay.
from what you hear. You can always judge by what you hear.
Is your music on YouTube or not yet?
No, we didn't do that,
Oh, okay.
and I'll tell you why.
So when we do a piece here, we'll
You
put
can
it
you
on
can
YouTube.
you can do whatever you want. Like I said, when Kenneth asked me to come down,
Yeah.
he said, "Could you come down and we should support this woman?" I said, "Cool."
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't see any problem with that. It's like in a band, you support each other. All
Yeah.
artists have to support each other.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a good guy. He
So
send
that's
me
my.
people all the
He's a
time.
good man. So anyhow, that's my 12 string. It's a Breed Love. It was made in Korea. It's an amazing guitar.
Yeah,
And
that's the one you leave behind when you go to Europe.
oh yeah,
You have a storage space.
no, I give it to my brother to hold on to it.
Oh, nice.
I trust my brother with anything. If he says, he's got one of the bass guitars I first started playing when I was playing bass.
Wow. So that's good that you have an anchor
We're very
here.
tight.
Yeah,
My family's always been very tight.
that's nice.
Family's what counts.
Yes, good. That's good. So yeah, so we're gonna do a few productions here in the large studio, and then with whatever you tape, we'll put it all together eventually.
Well, I'm a, you can't sit around. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You can't sit around and do beaded earrings like this unless you're patient.
Oh,
I mean, you just can't do it.
those are earrings?
Those are earrings. They're long too. They're long ones.
Wow.
You can take them out if you want to.
Those you sell at those
That's what I was selling there.
art
Just
art
Yeah.
street artists.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah, I used to do the street artist thing.
Oh, you did.
A
You
long
did.
time ago. Yeah.
Okay, because we do have a lot of street artists that the Embarcadero they
Yeah.
sell that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I
but
don't know if they're selling that kind of stuff.
But I don't have ear pierced.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to show it to you.
Yeah, yeah, but you sell them also with clips on?
Oh, excuse me.
Clips where you don't
Oh.
need to have ear
Oh, where you
pierced.
just clip them on?
Yeah.
I did make some. My sister clips on. She doesn't have her ears pierced either.
Yeah.
But she found these little things that you can adapt to.
To
uh,
it, to
it,
this.
and then so she could wear the earrings because
Oh, there's adapters?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring. When next time I see you, I'll bring one of her adapters and you check it out.
Okay.
Because she didn't want her ears pierced.
That's the only way I can try those.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that. I'll remember to do that. I'll make a note.
And they sell to kids and stuff?
Well, mostly to.
Teenagers.
Well, not necessarily teenagers. The work is very intricate. So some of the artists I know who I met at the grocery outlet on Bayshore over in Visitation
Oh,
Valley.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's one here too on Potrero.
So some of the artists I met there have bought my stuff.
Wow.
One lady came
This
over.
is you too, the necklace.
Yeah, I did this too.
That looks like Indian.
Yeah, well, that design, I'm well, I always tell everybody I'm a black Indian, because my father's mother was Indian.
Oh, you have a
and his
little
mother's
Indian
black.
in you?
Yeah, I have that,
That's good.
from my father's side of the family.
That's why you don't look pure or something.
Yeah,
you're,
but
you're mixed.
I consider myself a black man. I mean, I don't know.
Although you don't look black.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, people have their own perceptions, and I've never had any problem with it, except when I was growing up.
Oh.
When kids would get out of line, you just have to go to war with them sometime, and I used to fight quite a bit when I was a young boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were always moving quite a bit too. You got to remember. So you're always the new person in school,
Yeah.
and then you have to deal with the kids who are trying to bully you, and
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
can't let people bully you.
I heard that bullying is still going on nowadays in 2018.
It's always been there.
Oh.
To me, when they started getting a lot of, I'm not saying not talk about bullying because I went through it when I was a child
Little,
too.
okay.
But it's is as old as time.
Oh.
They look at you. You could be different. You could be shorter. You could be fatter. You could
Whatever
have
the excuse.
whatever they choose. And if they get, remember, it's always a group of them.
Oh.
They can't do it on their own. It's like some of the fights I have to fight a guy and his brother.
Oh my God. So
Yeah,
no
8
matter
years
what's the excuse, they do it. I mean, no matter what's on their mind to bully someone.
They'll figure out some way if they, because that's the, I after being to Vietnam,
Yeah.
the one thing that really caught me really intensely, I was out at the hospital. I was stationed at Da Nang.
Yeah.
And I was out at the hospital and they were flying in helicopters.
Yeah.
And what they were taking off the helicopters were body bags of guys my age.
Wow.
I'm talking about on a tarmac.
You mean
That's
like 20 years old?
I was, 18, 20, something like that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 20. Yeah.
So a lot of people died there.
Yeah, I had friends who went there and came back totally basket cases. Guys I went to school with, guys I used to
Oh,
live
we
around.
see them on the street begging,
Yeah.
veterans with the
Yeah.
sign.
Well, the thing is that once you've outlived your usefulness in a war, then you just cast aside anyhow.
Yeah.
And think of all the people and the damage they've done over in Vietnam. It's not over. It's still going on.
They train you for a job before you leave, don't they?
Well, I had a When I was in the Navy, I got out with an honorable discharge. But when I was in the Navy, I was pretty crazy anyhow.
You get trained from the
Well,
engine.
I got trained to do what I was told, and I learned how to. When I was in the Navy, I worked in a laundry too, but before that, I was a bosun's mate. I was on the deck,
Wow.
so we take care of the ship, and all that other stuff. And then I went to Vietnam. I was a cargo handler, but I never, I never was able to adjust, especially after seeing all those bodies on the tarmac.
So when you came back to United States, did they send you to a training center to readjust to
No, they
society?
didn't. I've had my family.
You
My
had to train yourself in something.
Well, what I trained myself, I started going to school. I
Oh,
attended City College. I got my
okay.
associate arts degree in
Okay.
1999 after bouncing around doing other things. Then I went back and I got a computer repair 2001.
Okay.
Then I also,
That's still in demand.
yeah, and then I worked, like I said, at different jobs. I focused on the school, and I've been in and out of a lot of schools
Oh,
since 1968.
oh my
I went to
goodness.
Diablo Valley College, San Francisco State, Chico State. I can name a few.
Okay.
But my belief is that I got most of my education at home when I learned how to read, because that opened everything up to me. So
Oh,
when I took on any situation in school or whatever, or doing something, that has always kind of my parents influencing me in that area was always useful.
okay. Well, it's good to get to know you. It's the first time I meet you,
Yeah, well, it's a
and
pleasure.
and I'm glad that now that you don't have to work, that you're concentrating
Oh yes,
on your creative
yes,
ideas, and that's why you call creative productions.
yeah.
So we're gonna help you a little bit with some of the video, but it was good to talk to you and find out how you came up with all these things. So thank you for being here on French American TV,
Oh,
which is
welcome.
now What's Your Idea, which is this your idea,
Well,
and it has been a pleasure chatting with
it's
you.
been a pleasure being here.
Okay, thank you.